Good evening, everybody. I am Tim Coet, getting ready to broadcast yet another championship game right here on First Class Radio. Rocky Hill Cromwell Portland post 105 ended up prevailing in the game earlier this afternoon, the 1 o'clock game. RCP taking on the host team in Middletown. It was a close game throughout. A 2-2 score until deep into the game. RCP ended up taking a 3-2 lead into the ninth, but then they ended up exploding for a big ninth inning rally and ended up winning the game by a final score of 7-2, and that earned their spot here in this matchup against Milford. And without further ado, the first pitch of this Northeast Regional Final is in for a called strike one from the starting pitcher for Rocky Hill Cromwell Portland, and that is Cole Ogrzalik. Pitching into the leadoff hitter for post 59, Matt Tessina, who fouls off the next pitch and finds himself down in an early 0-2 hole. Cole Ogrzalik getting the start here in this all-important game for RCP. Ready to deliver his 0-2 pitch and misses just outside. RCP had to survive the afternoon game against Middletown. The 1-2 pitch now is chopped right back towards the pitcher's mound. Ogrzalik springs off, makes the grab, and sends the toss over to first base. And Matt Tessina is retired for out number one. That brings up Andrew McMillan right back in the lineup. He was pulled after the fifth inning last night. That was a coach's decision, no injury as a result of his early exit from the game, so certainly good news for post 59 fans. McMillan up there on the left side facing the righty starter Cole Ogrzalik. And now an even count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Ogrzalik working quickly here in this first inning. He misses outside with that pitch to bring the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 out and the base is empty here in the top of the first inning. The next pitch on the way, and it is fouled straight to the backstop. And the count evens at 2-2. Defensively for post 105, it's Kevin Radzewitz behind the plate with Chris Bouchard at third, Christian Budzik at short, Corey Baldwin at second, and Logan Lassard at first. Left to right in the outfield, Brendan Sullivan, Tommy Seaver, and Alex Ramirez. Ready now with the 2-2 pitch. McMillan hits it in the air out to right field. Settling underneath is Ramirez. He makes the catch, and quickly there are 2 down.
Third pitcher, number 7, Dan.
The first 2 batters retired, and now here is Mantoni. Once again in this number 3 spot in the batting order, also on the mound in this all-important game. Mantoni second in this Northeast Regional Tournament in batting. He came into last night's game as the number 1 hitter. He's been batting .571 in this Northeast Regional Tournament. He had a 4-hit game against this RCP team back a couple of days ago. A 1-1 pitch on the way, and Mantoni hits it on the ground towards deep shortstop. The ball is bobbled by Budzik. He throws to first base, not in time. Mantoni will beat it out at first base, and that will go as an E6. The error charge to Budzik. It allows Mantoni to reach.
Second baseman, number 14, Joe White.
Opening the door for some potential 2-out magic for post 59 here in the top of the first inning, as Joe White now steps to the plate. But first a pickoff check over at first base, and Mantoni is back with the dive. One last order of business from our pregame show we will get to after the next pitch. It's on the way to Joe White, and it's lined out to right center field for a base hit. Mantoni will cruise into second base and stop there. There is the first hit of the game for Milford post 59, and it puts runners now at first and second base. That final order of business is the game time temperature for tonight's game, which is brought to you, as always, by Green Street Auto Spa. And right now here in Middletown, Connecticut, it is 79 degrees. Milford with Dan Mantoni at second base, Joe White at first base, and now Michael Ryan will get his first at-bat of the night. Up on the left side, the first pitch on the way from Ogrzalik, and it's in for a called strike 1. Michael Ryan given the opportunity to rest during yesterday's game. Jeff Basazzi getting the start behind the plate. And Ryan is quickly down in the count, 0-2, back-to-back strikes to start off the at-bat for Cole Ogerzalik. Ready now with his 0-2 pitch, and this is lined out to right field. That's going to get down for a base hit. They will wave Dan Mantoni to the plate. The throw comes in, and it is too late. Sliding in safely with the first run of the game is Mantoni. It's an RBI single for Michael Ryan, and Post 59 takes a 1-0 lead. All of this coming with 2 outs for Post 59. It was just a slight bobble. Not even a bobble, just a bit of trouble getting the ball out of the glove from the right fielder, Alex Ramirez, and that made the difference. It was a fairly close play at home plate, but the throw came a little bit in front of home plate. Mantoni made a great slide to the back of home plate, and he was able to come in safely with the first run of the game. As now Blake Hill swings at the first pitch he sees and hits it high in the air, foul down the left field line, but it makes its way out of play. That run unearned for Post 59. The error by Christian Budzik at shortstop proving to be crucial. It allowed Milford a 2-out base runner, and then back-to-back singles by White and Ryan resulted in the game's first run. Joe White is now at third base with Michael Ryan at first. Runners at the corners with 2 outs. A 1-1 pitch on the way to Hill. It's hit slowly on the ground towards shortstop. A clean play this time by Budzik, and his throw to first base is a good one for the out that ends the inning. But a little 2-out rally for Post 59 allows them to strike first in this Northeast Regional Final. They lead it over RCP by a score of 1-0. Post 105 will take their first swings of the night when we return here on coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio. An RBI single with 2 outs by Michael Ryan in the top of the first inning allows Post 59 to take the first lead in this championship game of the Northeast Regionals. Now, Rocky Hill, Cromwell, Portland, Post 105 will take their first at-bats of the night. Tommy Seaver, Kevin Radzewitz, and Chris Bouchard, the first 3 to come to the plate for RCP here against Dan Mantoni, getting his second start in this Northeast Regional. The first pitch for Mantoni is fouled to the backstop off the bat of Tommy Seaver. He starts off with a count of no balls and 1 strike. Mantoni back into the windup. The 0-1 pitch fouled away again off to the right. Mantoni, the Post 59 team leader in earned run average in this 2014 year, just under 1, as the 0-2 pitch misses high and outside. Windup and the 1-2 pitch. That drops in a little bit low. It briefly gets away from Michael Ryan. Mantoni's ERA to this point in the season, .98. He has a 6-0 record, 4 complete games on the season, 2 shutouts, and even 43 innings pitched here in 2014. Here is the 2-2 pitch, and it's on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Tommy Seaver with a strikeout to open up the bottom of the first.
Kevin Radzewitz.
And now here is Kevin Radzewitz, the starting catcher for Post 105. Batting from the right side, digs in very close to home plate. As he readies himself for the first pitch from Mantoni that hits the outside corner once again. Mantoni starting off ahead of these first 2 batters. Stares into Michael Ryan for the sign. Now here's the pitch, and it drops in low. The count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Dan Mantoni pitched in Milford's first game of this Northeast Regional Tournament against Pawtucket, Rhode Island. This pitch is lined on the ground, foul, wide of third base. 1 ball and 2 strikes now the count. Dan pitched 6 innings. Back on night 1 of this tournament, he allowed 4 runs on 5 hits. 3 of those runs were earned. He walked 3 and struck out 2. received a no decision. Andrew McMillan got the win in relief, as now Mantoni gets a swing and a miss from Radzewicz. Back-to-back strikeouts to open this first inning. The first one looking, this one swinging.
Third baseman,
There are 2 outs and the base is empty for Chris Bouchard, the starting third baseman. And a very hot hitter on this post-105 team. Bouchard going 4 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run scored earlier this afternoon in the victory over Middletown. He takes the first pitch just outside for ball 1. Milford with a 1-0 lead. 2 outs deep here in the bottom of the first inning. RCP, the home team. Now a 2-ball, no-strike count on Bouchard as Mantoni tries to work away. Back into the windup and the pitch, missing outside again. 3 balls and no strikes, and Mantoni not wanting to come close to the inner part of the plate. There is a breeze blowing out to left field tonight. Bouchard taking all the way. He takes ball 4, so after 2 straight strikeouts, a 4-pitch walk for Mantoni. And that sends Bouchard down to first base.
Batting fourth, second baseman, number 2.
You could tell that that was Dan Mantoni not wanting to take any chances with the hottest hitter in this RCP lineup with 2 outs and nobody on. So now Bouchard is the first base runner for RCP at first base with 2 outs, and now a first pitch strike is dealt into Corey Baldwin, the second baseman. Now this pitch hits the outside corner, 0-2 the count. The coaching staff for RCP electing to go with almost the same exact lineup as they did earlier this afternoon in their victory against Middletown. 0-2 the count with 2 outs. The pitch, a check swing. Did he go around? No. From first glance, it looked like that bat did cross over the plate for a swing from Corey Baldwin. Now a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Another pitch coming up here from Dan Mantoni. Here it is. And that one drops low. It gets between the legs of Michael Ryan behind the plate, and that allows the runner Bouchard to move up into scoring position. Should be a passed ball charged to Michael Ryan. Certainly a credit to Jeff Basazzi last night, as you heard Coach DeVito mention. Did not let a single ball get to the backstop. As now this ball is hit back up the middle, ranging behind the second base bag is McMillan. The throw to first is there in time for the out that ends the inning. That was a play that just under 24 hours ago, Andrew McMillan booted, and that opened the floodgates for a 5-run rally, but sure-handed at shortstop tonight. And that allows Milford to get out of the inning unscathed. We've played 1 full inning now from William Pomfret Stadium here in Middletown, and it's a 1-0 lead for Milford here on WMRC First Class Radio. Dan Mantoni able to pitch around a 2-out walk in the bottom of the first inning. Now Brendan Pounds leading off the top of the second, and he lines one down the left field line. This will be extra bases for the speedy Pounds, who cruises into second with a first pitch leadoff double. Brendan Pounds, who continues to come on strong at the plate in these Northeast Regionals, took the very first pitch of this top of the second inning from Cole Ogerzalik and lined it down the left field line, rolling all the way to the 327-foot marker. And immediately Pounds in scoring position with Mike Caffarella, the first baseman, now digging in on the left side. He takes a called strike 1. Pounds leads off of second now, an 0-1 pitch on the way to Caffarella. He turns to bunt, pulls the bat back, takes a ball. The pitch ended up in the dirt. Scrambling to pick it up was Radzewicz. Milford with one of their speediest runners in scoring position with no outs. Milford leading 1-0. As now Caffarella hits a ground ball over towards first base, scooped up by Logan Lassard. He will take it to the first base bag himself. But a productive out for Caffarella as It
Center
moves
fielder,
Pounds up
number
to third
13,
base. With now just one out.
Lynch.
That brings up the number 9 hitter, Kevin Lynch. He was not in the starting lineup last night as he got the start on the pitcher's mound. Ended up taking the loss. He digs in on the right side. The first pitch of the at-bat from Ogre Zolak is in for a called strike one. Lynch batting .182 in this Northeast Regional. 2 hits in 11 at-bats. He fouls a pitch away towards the RCP on deck circle. And he's quickly down in a 0-2 hole. The next pitch on the way, and Lynch able to hold up the swing on a pitch that ended up down in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out in the inning. Pounds at third. The pitch to Lynch is hit on the ground towards third base. Off with the pitch is Pounds. The throw to the plate is a good one, and Pounds is going to be out. RCP had the infield drawn in on the left side. Pounds was off on contact, and a bad base running decision right there by Milford. It cost them a potential run. Lynch is safe at first base on the fielder's choice, but now 2 outs in the inning. A dicey call for Pounds to be sent with 1 out in that situation with a ball hit right in his direction. So the score still 1-0. Lynch at first base with 2 outs, back up to the top of the lineup, and Matt DeCina, who takes the first pitch for ball 1. Still a 1-0 count. A couple of checks over at first base for Ogre Zolak on Kevin Lynch. Lynch with 9 steals here in 2014. The 1-0 pitch misses low and outside. Matt DeCina now the top batting average in all of the post-59 lineup. That was a title that belonged to Andrew McMillan for most of the year. But DeCina eclipsing him in his batting average, and DeCina now pops one up on the infield. The first baseman, Lassard, ranging in from the first base bag to make the catch for the out that ends the inning. So it started off very promisingly for post-59 with that leadoff double. But the runner cut down at the plate. Milford does not score on to the bottom of the second. Still 1-0 in favor of post-59. You are listening to coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on First Class Radio and streaming online at WMRCDailyNews.com. Dan Mantoni back on the mound for the start of the bottom half of the second inning, facing batters 5, 6, and 7 in the RCP lineup. Alex Ramirez, the right fielder, leading it off. He takes the first pitch for ball 1.
Come on, Danny.
Mantoni with 2 strikeouts in the first inning. Sees this pitch lined towards the backstop. And not an actual backstop like we've seen in ballparks around Zone 4. This stadium much more like a pro baseball field with a protective netting behind home plate where the bleachers begin. No chain link fence back here. Provides an excellent view of the field from our perch here behind home plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes now, the count to the leadoff hitter for RCP in the second inning. Here's the pitch from Mantoni, and it's swung on and missed. That one falling off the table. Ramirez chased it, and now he sends himself back to the dugout with the 3rd strikeout of the game for Dan Mantoni. The leadoff man retired here in the second, and now it's the first baseman Logan Lassard at the plate. Lassard batting from the left side, takes the first pitch for a called strike 1. Mantoni has been consistently getting ahead of hitters with the one exception of the 4-pitch walk to Chris Bouchard. Now a foul ball off to the left and out of play, and Lassard is down in the count, 0-2. Mantoni calmly ready with the next pitch. Again, it is fouled off. Logan Lassard listed at 6'2", 197 pounds, a recent graduate of Cromwell High School. The next town over from here in Middletown as this ball is hit on the ground at second base, bobbled by Joe White. He hustles the throw to first base and gets it there just in the nick of time. Had it in the glove, then dropped it to the dirt. Took a moment or two for him to collect it, but a good throw to Mike Caffarella at first base got there just ahead of Logan Lassard. So a 4-3 ground out brings out number 2 here in the second inning. And that brings up the DH Josh Zuiza, who takes the first pitch on the outside edge for a called strike 1. Mantoni, a strike throwing machine through these first 2 innings. Here's his 0-1. That one misses up top. 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 outs and the bases empty here in the bottom of the second. Milford leading 1-0. And now a pitch misses down low, and the count goes to 2-1. Josh Zuiza setting up in the very back of the right side batter's box, ready to see another pitch. He swings and misses. And now the count evens. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning. Dan Mantoni shakes off the first signs from Michael Ryan, now has the one he wants and gets a swing and a miss for strike 3. 2 more strikeouts in the inning for Mantoni. That's 4 through the first 2 innings. And we head to the top of the third with Milford out in front 1-0 here on WMRC First Class Radio. Coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on First Class Radio, brought to you in part by Community Emergency Medical Services, assuring all patients served are expertly treated and satisfied with all medical transportation needs. And by Green Street Auto Spa, treat your car or truck to a trip to the Green Street Auto Spa. Milford sending Andrew McMillan to the plate to lead things off here in the top of the third as they lead this game by a score of 1-0. McMillan taking the first 2 pitches out of the strike zone to jump ahead in the count. Now aggressively swings away, loops a pitch down the left field line. In foul territory, the third baseman, Chris Bouchard, goes into a knee slide, but just could not make the catch. Nice effort displayed out of the RCP third baseman, but just unable to secure the catch. And McMillan will live on in this at-bat with a count of 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, no injury as a result of McMillan's early exit from the game last night. Just a coach's decision, with Milford facing a substantial deficit, trying to get things in order for this championship day. Now a 3-1 pitch on the way to McMillan. He swings away and hits it on the ground towards second base. Corey Baldwin there to make the play and the throw to first base. McMillan going after a pitch high in the zone, tomahawked it towards second base for the 4-3 ground out.
Pitcher number 7, Dan Mantoni.
Now the second at bat of the night for Dan Mantoni. Mantoni reached on an error by the shortstop. He was the first Milford base runner of the first inning, ended up coming around to score the game's first run, but swings at the first pitch right here and hits a fly ball out to right. An easy play for Alex Ramirez, and there are 2 very quick outs here in the top of the third. Cole Ogerzalik starting to settle down after allowing that run back in the first. Ogerzalik delivers a first pitch strike into Joe White. Defensively behind Ogerzalik, it's Kevin Radzewitz behind the plate with Chris Bouchard at third, Christian Budzik at short. Corey Baldwin at second base, who gets the attempt there on the ground ball by Joe White, but cannot make the play, and White will reach. That'll be the second RCP error of the game. This one charged to the second baseman, Baldwin, just as I was calling his number.
Catcher number
Defensive
8, Michael Ryan.
alignment. So again, Radzewitz behind the plate, Bouchard at third, Budzik at short, Corey Baldwin at second, Logan Lassard at first base, left to right in the outfield, Brendan Sullivan, Tommy Seaver, and Alex Ramirez. So again, Milford given a gift of a 2-out base runner. They were able to capitalize back in the first, trying to do the same thing here as Michael Ryan comes to the plate. Michael Ryan delivering that first run for Milford with an RBI single. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and misses well outside. Ryan well rested after getting the entire night off last night against Middletown. Trying to heal up a bit of a thumb injury on his catching hand. Takes a swing at this pitch and hits it on the ground towards first base. A nice grab by Logan Lassard. And he takes it to the first base bag for the out that ends the inning. So Milford now strands their 4th base runner of the night. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Still a 1-0 lead for Milford here on coverage of the Northeast Regionals. This championship game right here on WMRC First Class Radio. Tim Coet here on the call for Milford Legion Baseball on WMRC First Class Radio. This Northeast Regional Championship game between Milford and Rocky Hill Cromwell Portland. One of the 3 teams that represented the state of Connecticut in this Northeast Regional Tournament. 2 of those 3 teams made it to the final day of tournament play, with RCP facing off against Middletown, the host team, earlier this afternoon, defeating them by a final score of 7-2. And now RCP trailing 1-0 as the leadoff hitter here in the top of the 3rd, Christian Budzik, sends a looping line drive to second base. The catch is made there by Joe White. 1 pitch and 1 out for Dan Mantoni here in the 3rd. That brings up the number 9 hitter, Brendan Sullivan.
19, Brendan Sullivan.
Cheshire, Connecticut was the 3rd team to represent this state here in the regionals. Is now first pitch swinging. Sullivan lines a pitch out to left field that drops down in front of Matt DeCina, or you can make that Blake Hill getting the start in left field tonight. It is the first base hit of the game for post 105.
Center fielder number 21, Tommy Seaver.
Gives them a 1-out base runner here as they turn the lineup over. 2nd time through against Dan Mantoni as Tommy Seaver steps in once again. And Seaver takes a pitch inside for ball 1. Mantoni has not had to pitch with base runners aboard very much so far in this game. A pickoff throw over at first base. They had the runner Sullivan leaning a bit, but he was able to get back to the bag. 1 ball and no strikes is the count to Seaver, who struck out looking back in the 1st. Swings at this pitch, grounds it right back up the middle, snagged on the way by Mantoni. The throw to second base out there, on to first, and it's a 1-6-3 inning-ending double play. Superb defensive skills on the mound for Dan Mantoni. He starts it. The throw to Andrew McMillan at second base for the out there, and completed at first base to Mike Caffarella. And quickly, this bottom of the 3rd comes to an end. On to the 4th we go. 1-0, Milford in the lead here on coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio.
Come on, Blake.
A nice double play turned by the Milford defense to bring a quick end to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. So we start off action here in the top of the 4th. Blake Hill, first pitch swinging. Sent a hard ground ball down the first base line, but just foul. Blake Hill typically swinging early in the count, but it has certainly worked for him, particularly last night. One of the bright spots in the lineup. 3 hits out of Blake Hill, who now sends this one back up the middle. It gets past the second baseman, out into right center for a leadoff single. So Hill at first base to start things off here in the 4th inning for Brendan Pounds, who lined a double down the left field line on the very first pitch he saw back in the 2nd inning. Brendan Pounds batting .286 so far in this Northeast Regional. 4 hits in 14 at-bats. He has 2 runs scored. He had 1 double coming into the game tonight, so you can make it 2. He was, however, thrown out at the plate. Trying to score on a ground ball to the left side. He hits one on the ground towards shortstop. Could be a double play. The throw to second out there. The throw to first is just in time. A bang-bang play at the first base bag. And it looks like Coach DeVito might come in to argue the play. He's come halfway down the 3rd base line. It looked like the throw one-hopped the first base bag. It was a very close play. All the speed from Brendan Pounds. It looked like he was going to beat it out. But the out call given by the first base ump. And now it's RCP who turns a twin killing, and now it's 2 outs and the bases empty for post 59. with Mike Caffarella at the plate. And Caffarella hits a pitch in the air in foul ground down the right field line. Over is Alex Ramirez. He's able to make the catch. And Milford is done here in the top of the fourth inning. The 4-6-3 double play hurt. We head to the bottom of the fourth inning. It is Milford 1 and RCP Rocky Hill Cromwell Portland 0 here on coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio.
In the Southeast region.
1 run on 4 hits and no errors for Milford post 59. No runs, 1 hit, 2 errors for Rocky Hill Cromwell Portland post 105. As we have already entered the bottom half of the fourth inning of this Northeast Regional Championship game. And Mantoni's first pitch in to Kevin Radzewitz, the RCP catcher, misses outside for ball 1. Radzewitz struck out swinging in his first at bat. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, and this is hit high in the air out to left field. Over is Blake Hill. He is able to make the catch. Positioned deep out there in left field, got a good read, and was able to track the ball down for out number 1.
Third baseman, number 5, Chris Bouchard.
Blake Hill getting the start in right field yesterday, sliding across to left tonight. Milford with their typical infield alignment in a Dan Mantoni started game. With Andrew McMillan sliding into the shortstop spot, Matt DeCina moving into third. Mantoni's first pitch into Chris Bouchard, the third baseman, misses for ball 1. And now not close with pitch number 2, so a similar strategy unfolding for Mantoni here. He does not want to give in against Bouchard. And now delivers a pitch that skips off the glove of Michael Ryan, and you can see the frustration on Bouchard's face. He knows now that Mantoni wants no part of giving him a pitch remotely close to the strike zone. 3 balls and no strikes. Here's the next one on the way, and it misses down in the dirt. And for the second straight time, Mantoni deals a 4-pitch walk to the hot-hitting Chris Bouchard.
Second baseman, number 2.
Mantoni confident enough in his stuff that he is going to just pitch around Bouchard every time his number's called. Bouchard at first base with 1 out, and now Corey Baldwin, the second baseman, at the plate. This pitch is hit in the air out to left field, ranging towards the line. Again is Blake Hill into foul ground, into the dive, into the bullpen area, and Hill cannot make the catch. A cloud of dust emerges as Hill went into the dive right around the mound area. The bullpen's set up in foul territory down the left and right field lines. A good effort for Hill, but he couldn't make the catch, and it's a 0-1 count on Corey Baldwin, who grounded out to shortstop, ending the first inning. It was a nice play turned in by Andrew McMillan, ranging behind the second base bag to make the play. The 0-1 pitch misses outside. Corey Baldwin batting .353 so far in these Northeast Regionals. He has 6 hits in 17 at-bats, 1 double. He has 3 runs batted in. A count now of 1 ball and 2 strikes as the runner Bouchard creeps out to a lead at first base. He holds the pitch, just misses off the inside edge. Michael Ryan continued to hold it there for several moments, hoping to convince the umpire of the strike call. The count goes to 2-2. 1 out in the inning and a runner at first base. Milford leading this game 1-0. Here is the pitch, and it is lined back up the middle. That gets through for a base hit. So Mantoni doesn't get the close call on the inside edge, and the next pitch is lined out to center. The second hit of the night for RCP, and it puts the tying run in scoring position, the go-ahead run aboard at first. This is the best rally that Post 105 has had so far tonight. And before Mantoni faces the right fielder Alex Ramirez, Michael Ryan will head out to the mound to make sure the two are on the same page. Milford getting their run on a 2-out rally back in the first inning, an RBI single by Michael Ryan. Milford has stranded 4 runners, though, through the first 4 innings. And they've also had a runner thrown out at the plate. RCP stranding a base runner in the first inning. That's the first pitch into Alex Ramirez, misses a little bit low for ball 1. Ramirez struck out swinging back in the second inning. Mantoni collecting 4 strikeouts through the first 2 innings, but has not had a K in the last 2 innings. Here is the 1-0 pitch. This is hit out to center field. A long run for Kevin Lynch. He makes the catch. They throw back in towards second base, and they get the double play. Getting caught too far off the second base bag was Chris Bouchard, and a heads-up throw in from Kevin Lynch in center field ends up in an inning-ending double play, an unconventional 8-4 inning-ending double play, but it gets the job done. The second DP turned by Milford in the game, and we head to the 5th. It's 1-0 in favor of Post 59. You're listening to coverage of the Northeast Regional Championship game here on WMRC First Class Radio. The fans having a good time here at William Pomfret Stadium tonight. The sounds of the YMCA playing during the interlude between innings. A lot of clapping, a lot of cheering, and a lot of dancing. It's a very festive environment here in Middletown, Connecticut. The fans enjoying every moment of this championship game. Fans from both sides taking in this game. A very short drive from Cromwell, Connecticut, which is the base of operations for RCP. But plenty of fans clad in the navy and gold of Milford Post 59 also in attendance, traveling faithfully as always. Kevin Lynch getting things started for Post 59 here in this 5th inning. He hits a ground ball that gets just past the glove of the shortstop, Christian Budzik, out into shallow left field. Budzik went into the dive, but glanced just off the fingertips of the glove. We'll see how the official scorer rules it. I would think it would go as a base hit. They do update us on the hit or error calls right on the scoreboard here, a terrific digital scoreboard. Just beyond the fence out in left field, a pickoff throw over at first base. And Lynch is back safely, still waiting for the official call, but again, I would certainly think it would be a hit, as now they send back-to-back pickoff throws over at first. So indeed a leadoff single for Kevin Lynch. Now the 5th hit of the game is now dropping a good bunt down as Decina, and a nice play streaking in from the pitcher's mound by Ogre Zalik to make the play at first base. A sacrifice bunt by Decina gets the speed of Kevin Lynch into scoring position. It's one of those kinds of games here in this championship where every run is crucial. Milford trying to manufacture a run here in the 5th, using their team leader in batting average to drop a sacrifice bunt down. Well executed by Decina. So now Lynch at second base with 1 out, and the first pitch into Andrew McMillan is a ball. 1-0 the count. McMillan 0 for 2 so far, gets into this pitch, drives it deep out to right field, still going back to the warning track, and making the catch there on the track is Alex Ramirez. Kevin Lynch playing it halfway down the line. He has to retreat to the bag. Andrew McMillan nearly jacking one out of here. It's 322 feet down the line in right field. It expands out to 380, more towards right center. Hitting that one all the way to the warning track, but not quite enough. And unfortunately, Lynch could not take the opportunity to advance to third base. So now 2 outs in the inning. That man still at second base now for Dan Mantoni. Mantoni reached on an error and scored in the first inning, popped out to right field in the third. Again, Mantoni, one of the hottest hitters in this regional tournament. Now up there with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Cole Ogerzalik pitching in his 3rd game of this tournament. He has, his 2nd game in the tournament. He has made 1 start and ended up notching a complete game shutout As now Mantoni hits one on the ground to the left side, and a bobble by the third baseman. And everyone is going to be safe. Mantoni, a little bit of an awkward trip down the first base line, but looks to be fine. So an error charge to the third baseman, Chris Bouchard.
14, Joe White.
So that's errors now at third, short, and second so far in the game for Post 105, who has given Milford some chances early on. So far, they've only been able to capitalize for one run. Mantoni is now at first base with Kevin Lynch at third. And an opportunity for Joe White. He hits one on the ground towards shortstop, played cleanly there by Christian Budzik, who will take it to the second base bag himself for the out. That ends the inning, so Milford strands two more runners. They have stranded 6 now through the first 5 innings, and we head to the bottom half of this 5th inning with Milford leading RCP by a score of 1-0 here on WMRC First Class Radio. Milford Post 59 with 5 hits so far in this game, but they have only been able to push 1 run across the plate.
First baseman, number 11.
We've seen a little bit of uneasiness on the base paths. We saw a runner thrown out at home plate. Kevin Lynch failing to tag up on a ball to the warning track in the previous half inning. Had he been at third base, he would have scored on the error by the third baseman for RCP, but instead only wound up at third, and he was stranded there as Joe White bounced into the force play that ended the inning. So Dan Mantoni heads back to the mound, still trying to protect just a 1-run lead. 1 run on 5 hits for Milford, no runs on 2 hits with now 3 errors for RCP. Mantoni with the first 2 pitches missing to Logan Lassard, who now flies it out to right center field. Tracking it is Pounds, and he is able to make the catch. Lassard now 0 for 2, and that brings up the DH Josh Zuiza.
Josh Zuiza.
Zuiza has seen limited action so far in the tournament. A 100 batting average coming into today. Takes the first pitch for a called strike 1 from Dan Mantoni. As now this pitch is hit high in the air out to left field. A long run towards the corner for Blake Hill. He won't catch up to it. It bounces up against the wall. Zuiza digging for second base. He will get there as the throw comes back into Andrew McMillan at shortstop. It is a 1-out double for Zuiza. And again, Post 105 will get the tying run in scoring position. So far, Dan Mantoni has been able to pitch effectively even with runners on, but Milford has not been able to tack on to their 1-run lead, scoring that 1 run all the way back in the first inning. And they have not been able to extend the lead despite opportunities in every inning. They have had at least 1 base runner aboard in each of the early innings of this game. Now this pitch is driven out to the gap in right center field. That gets down for a base hit. It rolls to the wall. And when this ball comes back into the infield, the game is going to be tied. As coming around to score from second base is Zuiza, and into third base with a stand-up double is Christian Budzik. That brings the RCP fans to life. They come to their feet. And Budzik overflowing with emotion at third base as he ended up with the RBI triple that has tied this game up at 1-1. So again, the significance of Milford failing to extend the lead now really coming into play, as the game is now tied 1-1. And RCP now with the go-ahead run at third base with still just 1 out. Mantoni now pitching to Brendan Sullivan, the number 9 hitter, who fouls the first pitch away for strike 1. The next pitch on the way. This is popped up on the infield in foul ground beyond first base. It's Dan Mantoni who takes charge, and the pitcher makes the catch in foul ground. And a big second out of this inning. Sullivan popping it up on the infield. No chance for Budzik to try it from third. He remains there now with 2 down, but we're back up to the top spot in this Rocky Hill Cromwell Portland batting order. Tommy Seaver, who has struck out looking and grounded into a double play. He swings away at the first pitch and misses. A big cut from Seaver. Seaver batting .222 so far in this tournament. He's played in all 5 games. As this pitch is now bounced to first base, a high bounce but fielded cleanly by Mike Caffarella, who takes it to the first base bag for the out that ends the inning. So Milford is able to minimize the damage. However, RCP is able to score the tying run. So as we head now to inning number 6, we are all tied up at 1 in this Northeast Regional Championship game on WMRC First Class Radio. Michael Ryan will get things started for Post 59 here in the top half of the 6th inning. He swings and misses at the first pitch from Cole Ogerzalik. 0-1 the count. RCP getting the equalizer in the bottom half of the 5th. This game just 55 minutes old, and we have already entered into the top of the 6th inning, a far cry from the 3-hour and 5-minute epic affair we saw last night. Took those 3 hours to play just 7 innings in what turned out to be a mercy rule shortened game. Ryan sends a pitch to the protective netting in front of the bleachers behind home plate, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Michael Ryan, with the only run batted in for Milford so far tonight, takes a pitch down low, and the count runs full. Ryan now takes a pitch inside for ball 4. That is just the first walk for Ogerzalik of the night. Walks the first hitter here for Post 59 in the 6th.
Left fielder number 16, Blake
Milford
Hill.
has had their leadoff man on in the 2nd inning, the 4th inning, the 5th inning, and now here in the 6th. Trying to retake the lead after RCP was able to tie it up, as Blake Hill now sends a bouncer back up the middle. It took an awkward ricochet off the pitcher's mound, and that ended up helping out Milford's cause, as it allowed the ball to get past the glove of the 2nd baseman, Corey Baldwin. It's the 2nd hit of the night for Blake Hill.
Number 1,
And Milford putting a rally together here in the top of the 6th. Their first 2 men have reached. Michael Ryan now at 2nd with Blake Hill at 1st, and now Brendan Pounds coming to the plate. A double for Pounds in the 2nd inning. He was thrown out trying to score on a ground ball. And then Pounds hit into a 6-4-3 double play in the 4th. Trying to drop the bunt down here. He sends it down the first base line. Pounds will stop halfway down the line as he takes a hard tag from the charging first baseman Logan Lassard, but it was a good sacrifice bunt as both runners are able to advance. It is the 2nd sacrifice bunt we've seen out of Milford tonight.
First baseman number 6, Michael Caffarella.
Go-ahead run now at 3rd base in the form of Michael Ryan. Blake Hill in scoring position at 2nd. And a big at-bat coming up here for Mike Caffarella, who is 0 for 2. Takes the first pitch from Ogerzalik for a called strike 1. Can't help but spot Kevin Martinez in attendance here at this game tonight, standing in the top row of bleachers down the first base line. Unable to play in this game, Mike Caffarella in the lineup at first base. Down in the count, 0-2. Now off the end of the bat, this pitch is floated out into center field for a base hit. Into score comes Ryan. They will hold Blake Hill up at 3rd base. It is an RBI single for Caffarella that puts Milford right back on top, 2-1. A big RBI from the number 8 hitter in the Milford lineup. It chases home Ryan.
Center fielder number 13, Kevin.
And again,
Lynch.
credit Brendan Pounds with the sacrifice bunt that got those men in scoring position. They now have runners at the corners with 1 out, with Kevin Lynch at the plate, who singled in his last at bat. He swings at the first pitch and drives it out to left center field, deep over the head of the left fielder Sullivan. It will roll to the wall. Into score comes Blake Hill, digging around third base is Caffarella. They'll now hold him up at third base. It is an RBI double for Kevin Lynch, and now a 3-1 lead for post 59. The bottom of the lineup coming through huge for Milford. RBI singles back-to-back from Caffarella and Lynch. And a 3-1 lead, answering right back from the RCP run in the previous half inning. An RBI double for Kevin Lynch. So now two in scoring position, and now first pitch swinging. Matt Decina sends one out into left field for a hit. Into score comes Caffarella. They'll hold up Kevin Lynch at third base, and on the throw up to second base goes Decina. And Milford is putting it together here in the sixth inning, now a 4-1 lead. When this Milford offense gets rolling, they usually generate a lot of hits in a hurry, and that's what's happening here in the sixth inning. It will go as a single for Matt Decina and an RBI. He takes second base on the throw, two more in scoring position. And a coach's visit now at the mound as I frantically try to update my scorecard. Milford with rapid fire action here in the top of the sixth inning. All of the infield coming in for the coach's visit. Looks like at first like there could possibly have been a pitching change, but it looks like Ogre Zalik will remain in there. It's been a 3-run rally so far for post 59. They now have Kevin Lynch at third base, Matt Decina at second base. Still just one out in the inning, and Andrew McMillan looking for his first hit. Now coming to the plate. He popped out to right field in the first, grounded out to second base in the third, and flew out to right field in the fifth inning. He swings at the first pitch and pops it up in foul ground behind third base. And Chris Bouchard is able to make the catch.
Pitcher number 7, Dan.
So a quick second out of the inning, and now an 0-for-4 day so far for McMillan. Still two runners in scoring position now for Dan Mantoni. And he swings at the first pitch, hits it on the ground to second base. Fielding it there is Baldwin. The throw to first is handled by Logan Lassard, and the inning comes to an end. Milford strands two in scoring position. However, they score 3 big runs, and as we head to the bottom of the sixth inning, it's now a 4-1 lead for post 59 here on coverage of the Northeast Regionals Championship game here on WMRC First Class Radio. A big 3-run rally on 4 hits for post 59 in the top of the sixth inning. They now lead at 4-1 as first pitch swinging. RCP grounds it to third base, played cleanly by Matt Decina, and Kevin Radzowitz, the catcher, is out on just one pitch on the 5-3 ground out. Tim Coet here on the call for WMRC First Class Radio, bringing you this live coverage of the Northeast Regionals here at William Pomfret Stadium in Middletown, Connecticut. Dan Mantoni with one out and the base is empty delivers a first pitch strike into Chris Bouchard. That is the first strike that Bouchard has seen tonight from Mantoni. After 2 4-pitch walks in his first 2 at-bats, now takes a pitch down in the dirt. Bouchard coming off of a monstrous performance in the afternoon game. Mantoni has not taken any chances with him, as now Bouchard swings away at this pitch and sends it foul off to the right. Down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mantoni's 1-2 pitch, and it misses outside. The Milford fans wanted it. Mantoni stares back in for the sign, now into his windup, the 2-2 pitch. It misses down and away. Other distinguished post 59 alumni in the house tonight. Former assistant coach Tony Duca and last year's head coach Brian Mackey in attendance. As that one drops in at the knees for a called strike 3. So Mantoni able to win the battle against Bouchard for the first time tonight. That's his 5th strikeout, his first since the 2nd inning. 2 outs here in the 6th inning. And now the first pitch into Corey Baldwin, the second baseman, misses for ball 1. 2 outs and the base is empty here in the bottom of the 6th. A pitch on the outside edge, in for a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, the base is empty. Milford leading 4-1. And Tony with his next delivery, and it misses outside. And Tony wasting no time in between pitches. This one is popped up. Just behind second base, out into the outfield goes Andrew McMillan. He makes the catch. It is a 1-2-3 bottom of the 6th inning for Dan Mantoni. Heading for the late innings here at William Pomfret Stadium. On to the 7th we go. 4-1, Milford leads it here on WMRC First Class Radio.
Your attention, please, ladies. Second baseman, number 14, Joe White.
First pitch into Joe White is a called strike 1. It will be Joe White, Michael Ryan, and Blake Hill up in this top of the 7th inning. White was the only batter who did not come to the plate in Milford's rally in the 6th inning, sending 8 men to the plate, scoring a total of 3 times. The 1-1 pitch now on the way, in for a called strike 2. Coverage of Milford Legion Baseball also brought to you in part by Milford Nissan. Test drive a new Nissan today. Joe White slaps this pitch on the ground to second base. Corey Baldwin takes it partway to the first base bag before dishing it off to the first baseman for out number 1.
Catcher number 8, Michael Ryan.
Michael Ryan now coming up. He got the rally started with a leadoff walk last inning, came around to score on the RBI single by Mike Caffarella. Takes the first pitch for a called strike. Cole Ogrzalik still out there on the mound for RCP post 105. Ogrzalik allowing 4 runs on 9 hits through the first 6 innings. 3 of those runs earned. As now the pitch is swung on and missed. It briefly gets away from the catcher, but Radzowitz able to throw down to first base for the 2nd out of the inning. It goes as a strikeout. The
number 16,
first strikeout of the game for Cole Ogrzalik. He has been pitching to contact through just about this entire game and had worked to his advantage up until that 6th inning. Milford was able to tag him for 4 hits, collecting 3 runs. Now Blake Hill comes to the plate with 2 outs and the base is empty and swings at the first pitch. Comes up empty for strike 1. Blake Hill, another multi-hit game. Now sends a pitch foul to the backstop and quickly is down in the count. 0-2. Blake Hill up to a .293 batting average overall in 2014. 24 hits in 82 total at bats. Takes a pitch inside for a ball to bring the count to 1-2. Gets a piece of this one, grounds it foul just past the first base coach's box. Blake Hill now with 7 multi-hit games on the year. Has really come on as the season has gone on in his first year with Post 59, what could be the first of many successful seasons. One of the players that will be part of the core of the future for Milford Post 59. Now a 2-2 pitch on the way, and it's swung on and missed for strike 3. A nice bounce back inning for Cole Ogrzalik here. He sets Milford down 1-2-3. On to the bottom of the 7th inning. It is still a score of 4-1 in favor of Milford Post 59 here on coverage of the Northeast Regionals Championship game on WMRC First Class Radio. We have reached the bottom half of the 7th inning as Dan Mantoni fires in a swinging strike 1 to the right fielder, Alex Ramirez. Ramirez has struck out swinging and lined into what turned out to be an 8-4 inning-ending double play back in the fourth. A bad base running mistake by Chris Bouchard, who got caught too far off of second base. And a nice heads-up throw by Kevin Lynch, who has demonstrated such excellent instincts out in center field this season. Reads balls off the bat very well, knows where to send those throws back onto the infield every time. Showed it on that play earlier in the game, now a count of 1-2 on Alex Ramirez. Wears number 42, which is one of the highest numbers we have seen worn by a player on a Legion team this season. Sends a bouncer back up the middle, springing off the mound is Mantoni. He gets it in and out of the glove, now throws low to first base, and it gets away down the right field line, and that will allow Ramirez to move into second base. We'll see if they rule it as a hit and an error or just a straight error. But a good start to the seventh inning for
First baseman number
post 105. They do indeed rule it as a hit and also an error. So Ramirez awarded the single. He takes second base on the throw. The first Milford error of the night. It comes on the bad throw by Dan Mantoni. It was a great rangy play just to come off the mound and get the glove on the ball, but the ball bounced in and out. As now this ball is hit on the ground to shortstop. A good play by Andrew McMillan, but a bad throw to first base that gets away from Caffarella, not very far. But the runner will be safe at first base, and up to third base goes Ramirez. And all of a sudden, after such sturdy defense through the first 6 innings, we've seen back-to-back errors for post 59, and it's resulted in runners at the corners with nobody out for post 105. Ramirez now at third with Logan Lassard at first, and now a hit batter on the first pitch to Josh Zuiza. And things are developing rapidly for post 105. Coach DeVito now out of the dugout to slow things down. Milford up by 3, and now all of a sudden the tying runs are aboard with nobody out for RCP. Dan Mantoni coming off of a nice easy 1-2-3 sixth inning. And Cole Ogrzalik able to get the 1-2-3 top of the seventh, and now all of a sudden a single and an error. An error by the shortstop Andrew McMillan, and now a hit batter has put runners at every base for Rocky Hill Cromwell Portland. Coach DeVito trying to get everyone's nerves calmed, everyone on the infield participating in that conference. Reminding them that they have the lead. Late in this game, they just need to do their job. That is the typical type of words that Coach DeVito issues to this team, keeping them focused on the task at hand, not looking ahead. But a tall task ahead of them here. The bases loaded, nobody out, and Christian Budzik at the plate. He swings at the first pitch and lofts it down the right field line in foul ground. Caffarella over, and does he make the catch? No, it looks like it dropped. Caffarella racing out there with his head towards the outfield, but that one drops, and it goes as strike one. It almost serves Milford better for that one to drop as a strike. Caffarella would have been in no position to throw to the plate. Now this one is hit hard on the ground. It gets off the glove of Joe White and rolls out into right field. One run comes in to score, and that is all RCP will get. It's an RBI single for Christian Budzik, and Rocky Hill Cromwell Portland is in business here in the seventh. The number 8 hitter, Christian Budzik, sending one on the ground just past the dive of Joe White, and now this will be the day for Dan Mantoni. He will head off to a rousing cheer. He will move back out to his typical spot out in shortstop. And out from the dugout comes Dan Avery. This was the plan all along for post 59. They would ride Dan Mantoni for as long as they could and then turn it over to Dan Avery, making an appearance out of the bullpen. Avery will make some warm-up tosses And we will be back with more. A crucial situation developing here at William Pomfret Stadium, and we'll have it for you next here on WMRC First Class Radio. As you would expect, some changes defensively for post 59 after the pitching change. The infield alignment now looking like this. Andrew McMillan moves over to third base with Dan Mantoni now at shortstop. The rest of the infield remains the same. Matt DeCina moves out to left field. Out of the game comes Blake Hill. And Dan Avery now out on the pitcher's mound, inheriting a bases loaded, no out situation. And Avery's first pitch in to the number 9 hitter, Brendan Sullivan, misses for ball 1. Avery has pitched in 1 game so far in these Northeast Regionals. Ended up pitching 6 innings of 1-run ball in a victory. Michael Ryan out to talk to Avery after that first pitch missed the strike zone. 1 ball, no strikes, no outs in the inning. Logan Lassard is the runner at third, Josh Zawiza the runner at second, and Christian Budzik the runner at first. Budzik with an RBI single that made the score 4-2. Tying runs in scoring position as now this pitch from Avery misses wide. 2-0 the count. And you can feel the momentum starting to turn in this stadium. The RCP fans coming to life as this pitch now misses low. 3 balls and no strikes the count, nowhere to put the number 9 hitter Sullivan. It was 1 for 2 on the night, a single back in the 3rd inning, a foul out in the 5th. As now this pitch hits Sullivan on the knee, and in from third base comes Logan Lassard with the 2nd run of the inning. And it is gut check time now for post 59.
Center fielder number
2 runs scored so far for RCP in the inning. They have the bases loaded with still no outs. And David Sampson now will sprint out of the dugout to get warmed up down in the bullpen. Avery finally deals his first strike to the leadoff hitter Tommy Seaver, now up for the 4th time. Seaver is 0 for 3. The 0-1 pitch on the way, it's swung on and missed. A strikeout, a ground out, and a double play ball has been the day for the center fielder for RCP. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And framed on the outside edge, but the home plate umpire ruling it a ball. A very close pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes now the count. The next one on the way from Avery, a check swing. Did he go? No. The pitch easily could have been ruled a strike on its own. They check down to first base. No swing, says the first base umpire, and the count now goes to 2-2. Avery back into his windup. The 2-2 pitch is hit off the end of the bat, foul down the first base line. We are in the bottom of the 7th inning. 2 runs are home so far for RCP. They've turned a 3-run deficit into just a 1-run margin of difference between these 2 teams. The 2-2 pitch again is grounded foul, this time down the third base line. A Rocky Hill, Cromwell, Portland runner at every base. Milford desperately in search of the first out in the 7th inning. The next pitch on the way from Avery. And another close pitch, again ruled a ball. Maybe a little bit low. It's been very close pitches that have not gone Avery's way. Now the 3-2 pitch on the way, and it's swung on and missed for strike 3. Avery with some anger behind that pitch and muscling it past the bat of Tommy Seaver, and there is a much-needed out, number 1. First strikeout in the outing for Dan Avery. It's the 6th strikeout for Milford pitching. Still a lot of work to do in the inning. The first pitch in to Kevin Radzewitz, the catcher, is a called strike 1. Radzewitz 0 for 3, a strikeout, a fly out, and a ground out. Here is the 0-1 pitch. It is hit hard down the left field line. Will it stay fair? It is just foul. barely any space between where that ball landed and the foul line. You cannot get any closer than that. Milford fans holding their breath. RCP fans trying to wave the ball fair, Carlton Fisk style. But a foul ball and a strike two, and boy is Milford living dangerously in this 7th inning. Avery into his windup. Now here's the 0-2 pitch, and it drops in for a called strike three. A late call by the home plate umpire, but he rings up Radzowitz. Back-to-back Ks for Avery. Milford now with 2 outs in the inning, but a big out faces Dan Avery as Chris Bouchard comes to the plate. He was walked twice by Dan Mantoni earlier in the game, trying to take the bat out of the hands of the hottest RCP hitter, but they have no choice but to go after him with the bases loaded and 2 down. The first pitch, a called strike one. Now the 0-1 pitch on the way. It gets away from Michael Ryan and in from third base to tie the game is Josh Zawiza. A wild pitch from Dan Avery after 2 big strikeouts. And we are once again tied now 4-4. Moving up to third base was Budzik, and down to second base was Brendan Sullivan. So now the go-ahead run at third with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. The next pitch misses outside from Avery. The count goes to 2-1. All of these runs so far charged to Dan Mantoni. Mantoni still responsible for the man at third. As Avery delivers a strike, now 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the inning. Avery back into the windup. The pitch misses away, and the count will run full. Avery has not been particularly sharp since coming out of the bullpen. And the 3-2 pitch misses low and away for ball 4. So it's been a hit by pitch and a walk to go along with 2 strikeouts since Avery has entered the game. And once again, RCP will have the bases loaded. Now for Corey Baldwin, who is 1 for 3. He had a single back in the 4th inning. A big-time rally put up by RCP here in the 7th, and now this pitch is popped up behind third base. Backpedaling out there is McMillan. He makes the catch for the out that ends the inning, but RCP bats around here in the 7th inning. They score 3 runs, and we head to the 8th inning, all tied up at 4. Stay tuned to coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on WMRC First Class Radio. So much pressure has been heaped upon these 2 teams, playing for the right to move on to the 2014 American Legion World Series. You never know when that pressure is going to start to mount, and for Post 59, maybe feeling a little bit of that pressure in the 7th inning. 2 big errors defensively opened the gates for that 3-run rally. All got started with the throwing error by Dan Mantoni, then a second error right after by the shortstop, Andrew McMillan, and now a ground ball is hit to shortstop by Brendan Pounds, but he beats it out at first base. Taking a little bit too long at shortstop was Christian Budzik, and you cannot take any time with the speed of Brendan Pounds.
Number 6, Michael
and he reaches on the leadoff infield single. It breaks up the rhythm of Cole Ogerzalik, who had retired the last 5 straight Milford batters. Brendan Pounds now 2 for 3 in the game. Also has a sacrifice bunt on the night, so he has been a big part of what Milford has been able to do offensively. Now a bunt attempt by Mike Caffarella right out to the mound. The throw to second base is going to get there in time. No throw to first base. Bunted a little bit too hard out in front of the plate. It allowed a quick throw down to second base, and Pounds is out, so it'll go as a fielder's choice in the end for Caffarella.
Number 13, Kevin Lake.
He winds up at first base, but the lead runner out at second, so Pounds heads back to the dugout. one out in the inning and a runner at first base. Kevin Lynch now coming to the plate. He hit an RBI double his last time up as part of the 3-run rally that Post 59 put up in the 6th. A 3-run rally for Milford, a 3-run rally for RCP. Rocky Hill Cromwell Portland has never led in this game. They have knotted up the score now on 2 different occasions. 1 ball and 1 strike is the count to Kevin Lynch. He has 2 hits in the game. As he sends a foul ball off towards the on-deck circle. 1-2 now the count. Ogrzalik now to the plate, off the end of the bat. This one is hit foul off to the right and out of play. And at first base is Mike Caffarella. Caffarella had come through with an RBI single back in the 6th inning, part of back-to-back RBI hits from the 8 and 9 men. They're trying to get on base again here in the 8th. But this is a ground ball to shortstop. It could be 2. The shuffle to second base out there. The throw to first pulls Lassard off the bag, and Lynch will reach to keep the inning alive. The second straight fielder's choice play, as now it's Caffarella who was erased from the base paths.
Left fielder number 9, Matt Decina.
So Lynch now aboard at first with 2 outs. Back up to the top of the lineup in Matt Decina. Milford is the road team in this matchup, which certainly could play a big factor. As we are now in the 8th inning. If this game stays tied all the way to the bottom of the 9th, it would play into RCP's favor. An undisciplined swing and a miss from Matt Decina. For a first pitch strike, we don't usually see Decina chase bad pitches. Milford trying to stay within themselves here in these late innings. They've let a 3-run lead slip away. Tied at 4. The 0-1 pitch misses inside off what the pitch was Kevin Lynch, and he will slide into second base without a throw. Getting himself into scoring position with a count of 1-1 on Matt Decina, who hit an RBI single back in the 6th. He is 1 for 3. Here's the pitch, and it hits Decina off the shoulder. Got him off the right shoulder. He heads down to first base. It's the first hit batter of the game for
Third baseman number 2, Andrew McMillan.
That puts 2 on with 2 outs for Andrew McMillan. Andrew has popped out to right field, grounded out to second base, flown out to right field, and fouled out to third base, 0 for 4. An opportunity to come through here with a man in scoring position and 2 outs. He swings at the first pitch and hits it on the ground to second base. A bobble by the second baseman, an off-balance throw to first. It's not in time. McMillan will reach. That ground ball ate up Corey Baldwin. He frantically tried to recover but could not. The 4th error of the game charged to RCP. And it gives Milford a bases-loaded opportunity with Dan Mantoni coming to the plate. And this will bring out the head coach for Rocky Hill Cromwell Portland. We'll see if they choose to go to the bullpen here. No move has been made just yet. A conversation going on between coach, pitcher, and catcher. See if Ogrzalik can convince his head coach to allow him to stay in the game. He does. A pat on the back, and the coach will return to the third base dugout. Everyone on the edge of their seat now. The runner at third base is Kevin Lynch. Matt Decina. The man at second base, Andrew McMillan, the runner at first. And Dan Mantoni, who has reached on errors twice tonight. He's yet to have a hit, and he takes the first pitch from Ogrzalik for a called strike 1. Mantoni pitching so well through the first 6 innings. Ended up getting charged with all 4 runs that RCP has scored. Here's the 0-1, and a close pitch that just misses outside. Post 105 fans voicing their disagreement. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count, 2 outs in the inning, a Milford runner at every base. The next pitch on the way, and a big swing and a miss. Mantoni getting a little anxious. He was out in front of that pitch from Ogerzalik, and the count goes to 1-2. The Milford fans imploring Mantoni to get a hit. The RCP fans hoping for 1 more strike. Here's the pitch. It's hit off the end of the bat to second base. Played cleanly by Baldwin. The throw to first base is there in time, and Milford strands. The base is loaded. And we will head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Milford 4 and RCP 4 here on coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio. Dan Avery back out on the mound, coming out of the bullpen in this game. He will face batters 5, 6, and 7 in the post 105 lineup, and Alex Ramirez, who led off last inning, will lead off once again. He fouls the first pitch back to the backstop for strike 1. Avery's 0-1 pitch sails on the inside corner for a called strike 2. Ramirez hit a ground ball off to the third base side of the pitcher's mound. Mantoni made a tough play to get to it, but then threw poorly to first base. And that allowed Ramirez to move up to second base. It set off a chain reaction of back-to-back errors for the post 59 infield. And when all was said and done, 9 men came to the plate, 3 of them scored, and RCP was able to tie this game at 4. Avery now with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes on Ramirez, ready with his next pitch, and it's hit in the air out to right field. Back goes Brendan Pounds. He settles underneath and makes the catch for out number 1. Milford has had more than their share of opportunities to put up more than the 4 runs they have. They have stranded a grand total of 11 runners through the first 8 innings of this game, including leaving the bases loaded in the top half of this 8th inning. Avery delivers a first pitch strike in now to Logan Lassard, the first baseman, who reached on the error by Andrew McMillan last inning. Now a fastball gets past the bat of Lassard to bring the count to 0-2. In the bottom of the 8th inning in this Northeast Regional Championship, knotted up at 4. And you can just cut the tension with a knife here at William Pomfret Stadium. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. It's waved out and missed. And a quick 3-pitch strikeout of Logan Lassard. The 3rd strikeout for Avery.
The designated hitter, number 22, Josh Zoiza.
Of course, the biggest play in that bottom half of the 7th inning was after Avery had gotten the first 2 outs on strikeouts, keeping the bases loaded, but then a wild pitch allowed the tying run to score. Had that not happened, Milford would still have at least a 1-run lead. 4-4 score, now a 0-1 count on Josh Zoiza, the DH. He was hit by a pitch from Dan Mantoni to load the bases. 0-2 the count. The next pitch on the way misses a little bit outside and high, and Zoiza doesn't chase. Zoiza doubled and scored a run in the 5th inning as well. Here's the 1-2 offering, and it drops in for a called strike 3. So a nice inning from Dan Avery there. He shuts down the RCP bats. A 1-2-3 frame, and we head to the 9th inning in this regional championship game. It is Milford 4 and RCP 4, and it will be batters 4, 5, and 6 due up for Milford when we return here on WMRC First Class Radio. Joe White with a big swing and a miss on the pitch from Cole Ogerzalik to get things started here in the top of the 9th inning. Now sends a ground ball to second base, easily playable for Corey Baldwin. He throws to first base, and White quickly retired for the first out here in the top of the 9th inning. Tim Coet here on the call for coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio. Into the 9th inning already of this Northeast Regional Championship game. Michael Ryan up now with 1 out and the bases empty. He takes a called strike 1 on the inside edge. Milford led this game 1-0 and 4-1. But each time RCP has found a way to respond, an ever-resilient team. Playing their second game of the day. They needed to defeat their crosstown rival from the state of Connecticut, Middletown, earlier this afternoon, as now Michael Ryan loops a single out into center field. It's the second hit of the day for Michael Ryan. He's now 2 for 4. He also has walked and scored a run. Dan Avery now will be called upon to bat here, as Milford did not have a designated hitter utilized in the lineup tonight when he came on to pitch. He was inserted into this number 6 spot in the lineup. Blake Hill now out of the game. And Avery now quickly down in the count, 0-2. This is only the 4th at bat that Dan Avery has taken on the season, and he quickly takes a called 3rd strike. Overmatched by Cole Ogerzalek. And it will be up to Brendan Pounds if we are to continue in this top of the 9th inning. Pounds has a double and an infield single tonight. He bats with Michael Ryan at first base and 2 outs. First pitch high for ball 1. Pounds saw limited action in the regular season, but has gotten steady at bats here in the regionals and has come through. He takes a big swing and a miss right here, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Michael Ryan with a short lead off of first base. Cole Ogerzalek has been the only pitcher utilized by Post 105 so far tonight. He deals a pitch up high, and the count goes to 2-1. A quiet crowd right now. Each fan base quiet for different reasons. There's the 2-1 pitch now, and it misses outside for ball 3. Should the inning continue, Mike Caffarella would be next. 3 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs and a runner at first base. The pitch is fouled away. And now a full count. Michael Ryan will get started on this next pitch. Brendan Pounds taking a little stroll outside the batter's box. Now steps back in as Ogerzalek accepts the sign from his battery mate, but now timeout is called at home plate. Brendan Pounds trying to disrupt the rhythm of Cole Ogerzalek. Both are ready now. The 3-2 pitch, and misses up high for ball 4. So Pounds works the 2-out walk. At first base now, it pushes Michael Ryan into scoring position at second base, the potential go-ahead run. And now Mike Caffarella coming to the plate. Collected an RBI single in the 6th inning rally for Milford, where they scored 3 of their 4 runs. Takes the first pitch for a called strike 1. It's been a 1 for 4 day overall for Caffarella. Batting out of the number 8 spot in the Milford lineup. The next pitch on the way. It's hit high in the air, but foul and out of play off to the right. And Caffarella is quickly down in the count, 0-2. In the bottom half of this inning, RCP will have their 8, 9, and 1 batters coming to the plate. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning, and runners at first and second base for Milford in this tied game. The next pitch misses high. You could see Radzewicz setting up even out of the crouch. He wanted that pitch well up and out of the strike zone to try to get Caffarella to chase. Now a 1-2 pitch on the way, and it's skied in the air on the infield, over towards first base. It's the pitcher who ranges over. Now Lassard, the first baseman, takes charge for the out that ends the inning. Milford fails to score, so RCP will have a chance to walk off with a win in this Northeast Regional Championship if they can score a run in the bottom half of this inning. Stay tuned to coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on First Class Radio. What a ball game it has been tonight here at William Pomfret Stadium. The game has seesawed back and forth. Milford with two different leads in this game. They could not hold either. And we are tied 4-4. 4 runs on 11 hits with 2 errors for Milford. 4 runs, 6 hits, 4 errors for RCP. Rocky Hill Cromwell Portland post 105. They come to the plate here in the bottom of the 9th against Dan Avery, who sends the first pitch outside for ball 1 to Christian Budzik, who collected an RBI single in his last at-bat. Now takes a strike, sees the count even at 1-1. The next pitch on the way from Avery, and it misses up and away. RCP used a big rally in the 9th inning to win the game earlier this afternoon against Middletown. They need only 1 run to cross the plate here in the bottom of the 9th to come away with a victory. 3 balls and 1 strike now the count to Budzik. Avery's next pitch, and it's in for a called strike 2. Milford with an opportunity to play 2 games today if necessary, if they could have come away with a win last night. But they fell in a mercy rule fashion, and now ball 4 is issued to Christian Budzik, so the winning run is on base with no outs for RCP.
Left fielder, number 19, Brendan.
Milford winning the first 3 games in this tournament before falling in 7 innings by a score of 16-6 to Middletown last night. Put them in a winner-take-all situation here tonight, as now a sacrifice bunt is laid down the first base line, but it drifts foul. The number 9 hitter, Brendan Sullivan, trying to push that winning run into scoring position. It takes strike 1. Sullivan singled back in the 3rd inning, popped out in the 5th, and was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded back in the 7th. That was the first batter faced by Dan Avery, who now sends a pickoff throw over to first base. Budzik able to get back safely. 0-1 the count. The pitch to the plate, another bunt attempt, but Sullivan pulls the bat back and takes a ball. David Sampson is once again in the bullpen. He warmed up back in the 7th. Avery to the set. Here's the pitch. The bunt is down. It's back out towards the mound. Avery looks towards second base, but fires to first to get the out there. The sacrifice bunt is good for Sullivan. And now the winning run stands at second base for post 105 with 1 out. And now it's back up to the top of the lineup, and Tommy Seaver, who has had a night to forget so far. But before he steps to the batter's box, Coach DeVito will come out to the mound. Will he take the baseball from Avery here? So far, just a conversation. Avery inherited a bases loaded, no out situation back in the 7th inning. Ended up allowing a couple of inherited runners to score. That allowed the game to be tied up at 4. Avery will remain in the game to face Tommy Seaver.
Center fielder, number 21.
Seaver struck out in the 1st inning, grounded into a double play in the 3rd, grounded out 3 unassisted in the 5th, and struck out swinging in the 7th. He sends the first pitch back behind the plate for strike 1. 0-1 the count, a runner at second base and 1 out. The pitch from Avery on the outside corner for strike 2. Avery has 4 strikeouts so far in this relief appearance. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It misses outside, not coming close to the strike zone. Trying to get Seaver to chase. The count now 1-2. This game hanging in the balance on every pitch. Here's the 1-2, it's hit out to right field. On the run is Pound, he dives, he can't get it. And coming around third base with the winning run is Josh Zuiza. And Rocky Hill Cromwell Portland will walk off with the 5-4 win. Congratulations to Rocky Hill Cromwell Portland. They win this Northeast Regional and will move on to the American Legion World Series. RCP now crowding in front of the pitcher's mound. A great effort out there in right field by Brendan Pounds, went into the all-out dive but could not make the catch. It was a do-or-die play, and no problem for Christian Budzik to come around from second base to score. And RCP will represent this Northeast region in the 2014 American Legion World Series. Milford falls agonizingly short, losing this game by a final score of 5-4. It is certainly a bitter pill to swallow for Post 59 fans here tonight, coming so close to a trip to the World Series, but that cannot overshadow the fact that it was an absolutely fantastic season for Post 59. 28 wins on the year. They accumulate a final record on the season of 28-11, winning Zone 4, capturing the Zone 4 playoff title. Playoff series wins against Leominster and Wachusett to earn their trip to the state tournament. 5 victories there, culminating with a victory over Newburyport on Pheno Field soil to capture a second straight state tournament and a trip to this Northeast Regionals. And leading this game 4-1 into the late innings, and unfortunately a great comeback from RCP cut the Milford season short. And they gather around behind first base for some final words as a team. And they will eventually depart. They will make their way back to Milford, I would imagine, tomorrow morning. And no doubt some downturned faces over there with those gold jerseys on. But again, just a terrific season for Post 59. Some very memorable moments. They can eventually hold their heads high knowing they came through this season as back-to-back state champions in Massachusetts. A tremendous run, and you think about what they had to overcome early on in the season. A 7-7 start to the year. It's been well documented and up until this point. The big turnaround at midseason to end up as the #1 seed in those Zone 4 playoffs and riding that wave all the way here to this last day of the Northeast Regionals. It's not going to feel good, not for the fans, not for the players. It's going to take a while for the wounds to heal, but eventually when these players look back on this season, they can be very proud of what they accomplished here this season. Just a terrific run, and it was an absolute pleasure to call just about every moment of this season. And unfortunately, that season comes to an end today as Milford drops this game to RCP Rocky Hill Cromwell Portland by a final score, again, of 5-4.